Thank you. What is going on, everybody? We are. Wait, what are we doing here? Let's make sure we're good. So, We are live. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat, everybody. Testing. Yep, we're live. We're good. All right. So, what's going on, Ty? What's going on, everybody who's watching? We are live on YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, and I don't even know where else. Sorry, as you can see, we are back in the basement today. We were heading out I was heading out to head to the center, and to the parents, y'all know how it is, or remember when we were kids and it's like your parents were about to do something, or as a parent, you're about to head off and get everything going, and then it's like, oh wait, before you go, I have a project that's like due tomorrow, or insert random issue here. So I was heading out, and as I was leaving, my son tells me that his laptop has been acting weird and not booting up properly. So I figured, okay, let me see what's going on. Let me do some quick troubleshooting and see what the issue is. And it has now been almost 4 hours that I have been troubleshooting this issue. Honestly, it looks like it's probably gotten some kind of virus on here. I'm unable to connect to the internet. Like, it's completely jacked up. So anyway, so we're here. So I didn't get a chance to head over to the center today, but we didn't really have anything going on there today. So luckily I was able to stay closed. So sorry, that's why we're late in getting started. I know we said we were going to start Windows fundamentals tonight, and try to get through most of it, but we're going to see how much we can do. We'll definitely get through part one, no matter how long that takes, since I don't gotta close down. Hold on, I don't gotta close up shop and go home because I'm already here. So if anybody wants to follow along, you can go to TryHackMe. We're back on TryHackMe. We did the first, I want to say, almost the first half of Over the Wire Bandit. Actually, I think it was the first 13 or 14 levels. But you can check those out in our previous streams. I think we handled Over the Wire, and I think part 5, 6, and 7. So you can check those out. But we are on day 8 or part 8, however you want to look at it. And we are going to do Windows fundamentals. So again, if you this is your first time, you're watching on Alpha Cybersecurity or Alpha Esports and Technology. Actually, are we even? It doesn't look like we're streaming from. No. Okay, no, we are. Okay. Just wanted to make sure we're streaming from all the sources that we're supposed to be streaming from. But yeah, we're streaming on our Alpha Esports and Technology and our Alpha Cybersecurity YouTube and Twitch channels. All right, so let's go ahead and get this show on the road. Let's start off by sharing our screen here. I already loaded into TryHackMe, and wanted to kind of get a head start on that. So as you can see, we started up our Windows machine, and we have here. Okay, so we already have our target 178. Okay, we have about almost 2 hours. And like I said, it's not going to take us that long. So again, we're covering the Windows operating system. Hold on one second. I finally made progress. Hold on. I'm doing multiple things. As you can see, I got the laptop here while I'm also working because my son needs it for school. Tell people all the time I'm a dad first, so I'm a dad first, techie second, but then there are times where worlds collide, and the dad needs to step in with tech stuff. So now that we have internet back, so basically, like I said, it took me like 2.5 hours just to uninstall everything, right? Like I had to go in and manually uninstall things, clear out things from the clear things out from the registry and everything. So again, this is why it's important to be able to have have that full experience of different skills and what have you, because for a lot of people, for most people who don't know, I started my career basically doing, help desk tech support type things. And then from there, I worked my way up to do system administrator level work, network support, things like that. And then I moved into cybersecurity. So it's good to have that experience. Those are things that will never go away. People are always going to have issues, especially some of the the more vulnerable communities. So you know the younger generation and then senior citizens, they're always going to need some type of troubleshooting. So it's good to have those skills. I'll be honest with you. During the last recession years ago, back in 2008, when I got laid off from Circuit City, that's how I made my money. Back when everybody was just clicking all the links on Facebook and you would get infected and randomly post corn or adult video screenshots and stuff. Your accounts would randomly do that. I know people seem to be doing that now like it's nothing, but it actually used to be problematic back in 08, 09. And and that was like a clear indication that their computer was infected. So I would scour the internet. I would scour Facebook for a few hours a day, and I would contact the people who were local to where I was living at the time, and I would offer to clean out their computers for $50, and then for an additional like 25 bucks, I would actually deep clean. Like I would open it up, blow the stuff out, clean all the dust, reseat all the connections and all of that. That was cool for a little while until you started hanging around people who smoked cigarettes by their computers, and then it would get real nasty. Like the dust would, because of the cigarette smoke and the dust, it would get like, it would turn into like this tar like thing on, and like it was a pain in the behind to clean off on the fans and everything. But like I said, I didn't have I didn't have the bills then that I have now. So I was able, like I said, I mean, I made good money doing that though, to be honest with you. Like I probably made like a good 500 a week, because I would pick up at least 2 computers a day. I'd pick up 2 computers a day. On a good day, I would pick up like 3 or 4. And like I said, I would just go, I would bring them back to my apartment while my wife was at work. And my daughter was at daycare, or my daughter was here home with me. After I was put her down for her nap, I would start doing the cleaning and stuff like that. Or I would send her to, like I said, the day she would go to daycare is when I would really be, having to go outside and stuff. All right. So let me stop yapping. All right. So anyway, let me know, again, it's Monday. So let me know how everybody's week is going so far. Let me go how the week started. I'm on vacation from my day job with eSecurity Planet. So I'm off this week, and then yeah, I'll be back next week and we'll go from there. All right, so let's go. So it says the Windows operating system is a complex product with many systems, files, utilities, settings, and features. Yep. Module will attempt to provide a general overview. Okay, so I mean, we're all pretty much familiar with Windows at this point. So it says the machine IP 10.10.178.111 administrator passwords let me in 123 exclamation point. All right, cool. So we're all pretty familiar with Windows. Windows is, pretty, I mean, most, I think, was it like 90 something percent, 95% of businesses or whatever still use Windows over like Mac and Linux and stuff like that. So everybody should be familiar with Windows, but it's, if you don't know, it's created by Microsoft. Like I said, it's the de facto operating system that are pretty much with every PC that you get out of the store. You go to a Best Buy or you go to a Costco or wherever, you buy a PC from there. More than likely, it's going to have Windows installed, unless you're going to buy an Apple product and you deal with the Mac OS. Okay. So Windows right now, the current version of Windows is Windows 11. And then I think the current version of Windows Server is what? What is the current version of Windows Server? Is it still 2019? It can't still be 2019. Oh, no, there's a Windows Server 2025. So the current version of Windows Server is 2025. Okay, cool. So Windows, so obviously you have your Windows, your regular Windows operating system. That's for your desktop computers. And then for your servers, so you have Windows Server. And so Windows Server offers more features, has things like allows you to do Active Directory for your domain services and stuff like that. Windows Desktop is just a regular Windows operating system. Like you see here, it allows you to, like I said, navigate with Microsoft's capabilities and also install other programs and applications. Okay. Windows XP was the popular one. It honestly, I loved Windows XP, but Windows XP did come with a lot of problems, and then they had to stop supporting Windows XP. Then they moved from Windows XP to Windows Vista. Windows Vista was decent. And then they went from Windows Vista to Windows 7, which was like everybody loved Windows 7. Then they went to Windows 8, but we don't talk about Windows 8. Like Windows 8 was horrible. Windows 8 was so bad that pretty much everybody said, "Nah, I think I'm going to stick with Windows 7," and they stuck with Windows 7 until Windows 10. And now Windows 10 has been switched to Windows 11, which is the current version we're running now. Windows 11 is very similar to Windows 10, but yeah, it has its own whatever. They usually come in two versions. There's usually a home version and then a pro version. The home version, like I said, we can actually just click the link to see the difference between home and pro. I said Pro just has a couple more tools, honestly. I'm trying to see if you can actually see it, but whatever. Let's not spend too much time on that. Let's go back. So there's there's a home version, and then there's a pro version. Okay. So then, like I said, you also have Windows Server. Windows Server, like I said, allows you to handle more complex things or processes. You can handle your networking, your domain stuff, your email, your Active Directory, your user accounts, and stuff like that. Windows, let me see. Yes, I'm sorry. Windows Pro. One of the main difference between Windows Home and Windows Pro is that Windows Pro has a feature called BitLocker that allows you to encrypt, essentially encrypt your hard drive, right? So you would have to you'd have to use a password to be able to access your stuff. And then it protects it, because if your computer's stolen or anything like that, your data is protected, right? They won't be able to access it without that password. So BitLocker encrypts your entire hard drive. So it encrypts your applications, it encrypts your operating system files and folders, it encrypts all your data. you know, like I said, and again, the idea is to prevent it from, if your computer were to be stolen, or let's just say borrowed and not returned, um, they would be unable to um, access your stuff, right? Like the moment they tried to turn it on, it would ask for a password to decrypt everything. And if you can't access it, then you're screwed. Okay. So that's one of the major differences between Windows Pro and Windows Home. Okay. All right. So when we talk about Windows, there's a few things you should know. This main area here, this is known as the, actually let me move me. Oh boy, come on. Let me move me some. Where can I meet? Let's move me up here. Yeah. No, let's move me down here. All right, cool. All right, so when dealing with Windows, there's a few things you should know, right? There's obviously this main area. This is known as your desktop. Okay. So this is your desktop. These are shortcuts to, or links to, applications. Down here, this dark blue or black section, this is known as your taskbar. Here is your search bar if you need to search for certain things. So like if I just needed to, it's slow. Like if I wanted to look for the control panel, I could just type that in and it would search Windows, or it could even search the internet for it. If you have multiple tasks running, and then you have would be your task view. That gives you a bigger look to see what activities are being ran on your PC. Over here, you have your time and date. Here's your network status right here. So usually you'll see this or the Wi-Fi, and that will let you know if if you have internet. Then you have this section right here. This also brings up your tasks. So any things that you would have running, programs you'd have running, you would see it in this box here. Okay. Let's see. Then you have Then you have this folder right here. This is to your file explorer. So it's essentially the same thing as these shortcuts or links. This is just a shortcut to your file explorer. So if you just click that, it would open up your file explorer, and then you could look for any folders on your PC, right? You could even click right here to go this PC, and then you could see other things. You could see how much disk space you have left. And then last but not least, you have your start menu. Again, you would click here to see whatever, to access whatever applications or anything else, right? Okay, so we went through that. So this is the desktop. I guess we kind of covered most of that. If you wanted to change your display settings, I don't think that's a test question or anything like that. But if you wanted to test your display settings, you could actually right click here in your desktop, and then you could either go to display settings, and that will allow you to make any changes if you wanted to make whatever changes, right? If you had multiple displays, like I have a two monitor setup here, and then in my other setup, I have a 3-monitor setup. You can set up how you want your monitors to be configured. Could Windows servers be daisy chained in a virtual environment? I don't think so, but I don't know, but why would you want to do that anyway? Because for a lab environment, if you're gonna play with Windows Server, you just create multiple. You could create multiple domains and just do that, but I don't think you can daisy chain multiple Windows servers. You know what? I take it back. You probably could, Ty, because if you create your own NAT network in your virtual environment, and then they're all able to see each other on that NATed network, then I don't see why not. Yeah, in theory, I think you might be able to. I think you might be able to, in theory. I don't know why you would, but like I said, um, yeah, because like when I set up my lab, all of my virtual machines can see each other in that environment, right? Because and we'll get into that when we go back to our setting up our lab environment with VirtualBox. You will create a NAT network and you give it an IP range, and then all of the devices that sit on that NAT network will be given an IP address from the DHCP server, or you could give it a static address like we talked about before, and then they're able to communicate to each other. And then what we do is set up our attack machine in that network and then do that. Or what I used to do when I got into pen testing, actually, I would have all my machines sitting on one in a virtual environment. Actually, it wasn't even a virtual environment because I actually it was a live environment. So what I did was I had like a PC with like a huge disk drive, and I ran all of my stuff from there, but it was on the machine. It wasn't in the natted network. It was in the, was it bridged? Basically, it was on the live network, right? Because I have multiple networks in my house. Like I have my testing network and stuff like that. And then what I did was I would put a router there, and then I would practice Wi-Fi. So I would practice hacking the wireless network first, to then gain access to that machine, which then allowed me to gain access to whatever vulnerable machines were on there. Am I a fan of Mr. Robot? I am, Eric. I am. Yeah, you see the masks in the back. So yeah. So like I said, back to your question, like creating a multi-layer Windows servers for hacking like Windows across different domains. Yeah, I guess so. Like I said, I think in theory, I think so. Now that I think about it, if you create a natted network and you create multiple virtual servers and then just have them connect to each other, they should be able to. You should be able to. All right. Let's get through this. Like I said, we're running behind here. All right. So again, if you also wanted to personalize, you could do the same thing. Right click the desktop. The actual syntax. Man, I mean, like I said, you know what? There's a scene in Mr. Robot when he talks about writing his own exploits and stuff like that, and then he was like, "I live for this shit." Like that's a real moment for me, right? I don't. I'm far beyond the days of creating like my own exploits from scratch. I'm not saying I can't, take an exploit and modify it for whatever I'm doing. This rapid fire eternal, but like that. But look, Eric, that's what if you see the previous stuff, when I was talking about Linux, that's why I harp on learning the command terminal in Linux so much, because it's the same thing. It's like once you understand the Linux command line, you don't need anything else, right? You don't need a GUI. I think it's funny. Yeah, you know what? I think Script Kiddie, it started off as someone literally who really literally just relied on it and didn't understand it, right? Like there was a time when people would just find exploits because it said it can exploit X vulnerability, and they would just run it, not knowing what it was doing, not knowing where it was pointing, not knowing if it even worked. And then what was happening was people were putting exploits out there, but they were putting backdoors in the exploits. So you would download the exploit and run the exploit thinking, oh, I'm gonna pwn this machine, and nothing would happen, but then you actually exploited yourself, right? So I think that's where that came from. And then yeah, it was like, not for nothing, no one has, unless you're on a red team engagement all the time, no one has time to seriously craft their own exploits like from scratch. You know what I'm saying? Like, the business of pen testing and ethical hacking does not allow you to really generate like really complex exploits, right? If you're doing a bug bounty or something like that, then fine, right? But if you're in the business of a pen test, right? Most pen tests, they give you what, 1-2 weeks to do the entire test and to write the report and deliver it. So it's like, how do you expect me to do that and then come up with this? You know what I'm saying? So I think like most professional pen testers are going to rely on some type of script or automated thing by in general, right? And not for nothing, scripts are, what is the purpose for scripts? To automate processes, right? Like I have a script for when I first install Linux that does everything that you saw me do the other day when I set up my Kali Linux box, right? I have a script for that. There's a script that literally goes in, creates generates new SSH keys and does, runs the updates, installs the apps that I'm looking to install. Like there's a script for that. Metasploit is a bunch of freaking exploit scripts, right? So it's like, the whole purpose of scripts are to automate and make things easier and speed up the process, because we are on limited time schedules when we're working on these real pen tests. Now, if I'm working on something that's a project, a pet project, or like I said, something that there's no time limit, yeah, right. Like if I'm working in like an in-house security team for like an app company or something like that, yeah, I'll play around with the developer code and see what I can mess around with. You know what I'm saying? So, I guess Eric, like, yeah, don't feel no way. I've been, like I said, I've been doing this for 10 years now, and I'm lost. Look, I get lost all the time, which is why things like this, people walk around like, their stuff don't stink, and they know everything there is to know. I guarantee you, even the best of them, if they're not doing it every single day, they're refreshing on something, right? If, for example, let's name it like let's say a vulnerability you haven't worked on, like when I first got into web app pen testing, cross-site request forgery vulnerabilities were everywhere, at least where I was working, right? The contract I was working on, all the web applications were developed by the same person, and for some reason they were all vulnerable to cross-site request forgery. I have not done a successful cross-site request forgery in probably the last 6 years. But if I were to test an application today that was vulnerable to cross-site request forgery, I would probably have to go refresh. So, again, there should, you don't get lost. Even if you get lost, just know how to find the answer. That's what people will. That's the part that people don't talk about enough, is that you're okay to get lost. Just know how to find the answer. You don't have to know the answer to every single question. And if you claim to know the answer for every single question, then you're full of shit. Sorry if there's any kids watching. No one knows the answer to every single question. All right. Now you might know the answers because that's your specialty, but you're not going to know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know more about application stuff or API stuff than that I can probably run off the top of my head than I can do network stuff, right? I haven't done a wireless pen test. I talked about how when I was doing my lab environment, I would actually do wireless. I haven't done a wireless pen test probably about 7-8 years. Yeah, subnetting is network plus, and it can be a pain in the behind. All right, we got to get through this. All right, so we talked about the start menu. I said we know most of this stuff, right? Best viewers on streamboo.com. Thanks, bot spam. No, thank you. Again, like I said, we know we should know most of this. If you don't, like I said, you can right click here and hit File Explorer. If you wanted to remove things from the taskbar, you can hit Unpin from taskbar. If you wanted to add stuff to the taskbar, you can as well. Like for example, if I wanted to pin Wireshark to the taskbar, I can right click the icon and go pin to taskbar. And then if I want to remove it, I can just hit Unpin from taskbar. Okay. Any apps that you run would show up here in this box, right? So let's just fire up Google Chrome real quick. Okay, so if you look, when Google Chrome starts running, you'll see here in the taskbar, we have the Google Chrome icon here that says we have it, but usually it's also it should show up here, but like I said, the VM might be a little slow. Okay. Which selection will hide or disable the search box? Okay. So if we wanted to do this, if we wanted to get rid of the search box, we can go here to taskbar settings. We can lock the taskbar. We can automatically hide the taskbar on desktop if there was a tablet mode. We could use we could use a smaller taskbar setup so you can see it kind of shrunk right there, and we can close that up. We can scroll down. If we select which icons can appear, or we can select icons on or off. Show taskbar on all displays is grayed out, so it doesn't let you mess with it anyway. But if you wanted to make changes, you would go there. Okay, so which selection will hide disable from the search box is hidden. Which selection will hide and disable task view button, show task view button. I think it's the SOC analyst cert. The SOC analyst path, Eric. Yeah, I think it's a SOC analyst path. All right, so we finished up this one. So let's see here. Let's see. Did we? All right, we'll quickly go through the file system. But before we do that, I mean, it wouldn't. I don't think. I don't think it. I think. I don't think it could. Blah, 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 blah. It couldn't hurt, right? If you grab that certification, yeah, it's literally hands-on, right? So I don't see that doing any damage. Like I said, I think it would actually be very helpful. There are, some companies might not recognize it as a cert, but I still would get it if you want to get it and have it added to your resume. What's going on, Maddox? That's what I would do, right? There's a ton of certs that are out there that the industry recognizes, like we recognize it, but for some reason jobs don't recognize it. Or there's some that are out there that the industry don't necessarily respect, but jobs require it, or because it's DoD, it's on the list of DoD certifications. That's why it's still there, right? I'm not going to name any names. But Eric, yeah, I've been I would have I ever been I mean, I've been in the hiring process, like basically, yes. So when I say basically, like I have never like sent out the offer letter, so to speak, but I've been in on the interviews. I've done the appreciate it, Maddox. Okay, Security. Well, Security Plus is a good start. Security Plus is definitely a good start. Yep, I don't blame you. And like I said, Security Plus is highly recognized and respected in the industry. So, now that being said, back to your hiring manager question. Yes, I've been the one who kind of tells the person what decision they should make, right? So I've been on those interviews. So that's another reason why I do these streams, because like, if you hear what I'm saying, like, build out the lab, and as you start doing the vulnerable machines and the CTFs, like, start writing that stuff out so you can actually show your thought process and start building that muscle memory in how you navigate navigate a pen test or a Linux system, or if you're going to do the SOC stuff, document it, right? Say, find, I know there's some labs out there where you have to find where the not the vulnerability, but find wherever the issue is and figure out how to how you fix that. Document it, right? A few years ago, I used to tell people, like, create a blog. You don't even have to do that anymore. I don't care if you make a blog. I mean, I think it would help because it would get it out there and get more eyes on it, but still document it. And then when you go on these interviews, bring that stuff with you, right? Yeah, man. Working on an AWS cloud practitioner. Yeah, Ty, like I said, I mean, it doesn't hurt, man. Like me, I think this year, like I said, the last couple of years, because everything with the center, I've only been recertifying. I haven't been actively pursuing new certifications. I really haven't had to, because I kind of had like one foot out the door as far as like working full-time pen testing or cybersecurity. I definitely see that changing, so I probably will be actively pursuing some stuff. So I'll probably be looking for some AI stuff, some more cloud stuff, and obviously I'm going to go after the API pen testing certs. Hey, yeah, man, congratulations. Look, here we go. Hold on, because since we're here. Hey, look, that's cool. Hey, look, your first couple videos and lives are going to be horrible. You're going to sound horrible. It's going to look horrible, and you'll get more comfortable over time. All right, so file systems. Like I said, we gotta burn through this, because like I said, I don't know if y'all watch wrestling, but I'm trying to see what happened after Elimination Chamber on Saturday. There's a lot of different stories. Like, that's my guilty pleasure. But so I'm actually booting up Netflix now on the TV. Okay. All right, so look, when you're dealing with file systems, Windows usually runs off of called the NTFS. It's called the New Technology File System. Before that, they had FAT16 and FAT32, and then they had another one called HPFS. I remember, like I said, I don't think I've ever dealt with HPFS, but there, like I said, FAT16, FAT32. What's going on, Thumbstick? No, I started late because I had to go back to my tech support days and troubleshoot my son's laptop. So I was spending the last 3 hours manually removing programs and stuff out of the registry just so I can get stuff back on the internet, because he had some stuff on there that is like proprietary that he didn't want to remove if I just wiped it. So I had to do the hard stuff. Yeah. That's why I'm in the wolf den today and not the center. Hey, but Thumbstick, I do need to link up with you about a couple things. So I'm gonna be shooting you an email this week. All right. So yeah. So you have FAT16, FAT32. There's still, I mean, you still use FAT systems, especially on like your USB devices or micro SD cards. But Windows machines are usually NTFS. Okay, so so NTFS, like I said, it allowed you is known as a journaling system in case of a failure. It also allowed you to run files that were larger than 4 gigs. Yeah, right. No, so my son does a lot of he does a lot of art, like if you ever hear me talk about my family, I always say I'm the least talented person in my household, but I say it with a smile because I truly am like in awe of everybody, from like my kids and my wife. Like my wife does custom cakes. Like she does custom cakes to the point where like we're trying to get her on the show. Like, is it cake? My daughter has been talented with the trumpet since she was like 8 years old, and now she has practically like a full scholarship off of playing the trumpet. And for several colleges that she can choose from, right? I mean, she's already been accepted to I think almost 50 colleges. So she's amazing. And then my son has been drawing and doing things since he was like little. Um, and he does a lot of artwork. He wants to create his own stuff. He does photography. He builds Legos. So there's a lot of files and stuff that he has that pertains to a lot of that stuff. And then you just have me, who just, I can hack things from time to time, and I like to play video games. So, yeah, man. Like I said, Eric, I've been blessed. I'm blessed. I'm truly blessed. I'm blessed and I'm lucky. For real. So, um, let's see. So yeah, NTFS, you can set specific permissions for files and folders. So, if we wanted to hide a folder, or if we wanted to change certain settings, we can. And then it also allows you to run the encryption file system, or EFS, to encrypt your files. Okay. So when dealing with NTFS, you can set permissions like full control, modify, read and execute, list folder contents, read and write. Hey man, look, I'm gonna be out in today's day and age, it is not easy, thumbstick, right? To keep them on task, because we live in a TikTok generation, so everybody's attention span is what, 3 minutes now. You know what I'm saying? So trying to keep kids on that path for years. I mean, shoot, we have a hard time doing it ourselves. Um, so it's definitely been a challenge to just be like, hey, stick to it, right? Even with, like I said, my son, like there was a while there where he, you could see the like the drawing and stuff like that started going less and less. And it's like, trying to stay on them, and, almost getting annoying about it, or like calling them out on it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Eric, man, look, you're 30, you're 34. I'm older than you, man. And like that's why these refreshers are also important to me, because I don't care what you think or how you feel about COVID, but I definitely got sick. Yeah, Thumbs. You got to keep you, especially if they have it in them. It's a God-given talent, man. You can't let that go to waste. So many people, especially young kids, are so talented and probably have things that you talk about. Oh, they can get out the hood, or they can get out of their situation when they're old enough. There's so many opportunities for them, and they just don't know, because it's just something that they just think it's a hobby, right? But where was I? Oh yeah, like I said, I got really sick, and then after that, I started having the really bad brain fog. I still can't. And Ty and Maddox, they're basically like day ones from when I first started doing this content thing. They know I used to go hard. Like I was on pen test after pen test. I was like nonstop. I started noticing around 2022, 2023, I couldn't do it anymore. Like the brain fog, it just, like my body, it would just shut down. So now it's like I have to figure out different ways to get it out there, and also help people obtain these skills. All right, so file permissions. So remember, remember and these are very similar to what we talked about with Linux too. So read, it just allows you to view the file or read the file. Yeah, see, Matt, there you go, room after room. Yeah, that's real. Like I like 2019, 2020, 2021, I was on it. And then, like I said, I got sick somewhere in 2022, and it was just like, shit was different. So read allows you to view, write allows you to add to the files or folders. Read and execute allows you to read and then run the programs or whatever. Listing the folder contents allows you to view the list. Yes, Eric. Yes, it is. They really are. Modify. I mean, because honestly, most of this stuff can just probably fall under read and write, right? Or read, write, and execute. You know what I'm saying? And then full controls, right? Right. So I would say you could probably condense this to read, write, execute, full control. Like that's how I look at it. You could just do read, write, execute, full control. And then in that full control, because then listing folder contents and all of that would fall under write and execute, and modify would fall under execute. Full control, and then full control just allows you to if you wanted to delete, right? Because you might be able to modify, but you may not want them to delete or something like that. So I think, yeah, Windows, they, I don't know. If you wanted to change the file or folders, you could do that by right clicking. I don't think we have anything in here that will allow us to modify. Yeah, man. Like I said, I still have it. I still have it. Like I've been doing brain exercises and stuff like that too. Again, keep it a buck. That's another reason why I was like, I always knew I wanted to the next phase of my career would be in teaching and be in helping the next generation or people get into this field. That just sped up the process because at that point I knew I couldn't do it at the rate I was doing it. And these companies, they when how it go. Once you show them that you're capable of it, they feel like that should be the norm, right? They feel like that should be, oh damn, you were able to do back to back pen tests. Oh, now we're just gonna schedule them like that from here on out. So once you start doing stuff like that, once you start doing, it was like, all right, now I need to reset boundaries. But like I said, I always knew the next phase in my career would be what I'm doing with Alpha Esports and Technology. It would be teaching, it would be training. I'm gonna be honest, like between me and y'all, even though we're live streaming this, there was a while there where I was trying to become a SANS instructor. And then that kind of went to the wayside, and it was just like, you know what? Stop trying to beg to sit at everybody else's table, right? I can do it myself, right? If I went to a SANS or another organization, right, they're paying me to deliver my knowledge to their students. Why do I need someone else's, and I'm not trying to be rude, but why do I need someone else's what's the word I'm looking for? Permission to do what I wanted to do. So that's just how I'm looking at it. So yeah. But like I said, I did that, and then I did I have the LinkedIn learning courses. But now, like I said, I'm developing my own course stuff. I'll be announcing that soon. Obviously I'm doing these free streams. I'll also be doing some stuff, probably behind the paywall but that'll be other things. But I wanted to do this stuff first. Learning Chinese helped me and I review. No, man, like I said, it's like, it's definitely, it definitely got challenging, and it's still, I'm not gonna lie, it still is. Okay. All right. So we went through the file system with Windows System 32 folders. So the system, so let's just go here real quick. We go here, we hit C, and then we go to Windows, right? So the Windows folder it contains all the information you pretty much need for the Windows operating system. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to stay in the C drive, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the C drive. But like I said, the Windows drive, the Windows stuff is the Windows folder is usually where most of the operating stuff is. Okay, they talk about environment variables. This is variables that store information about the operating system. And then you have your System 32 folder. So let's scroll. So now you have your System 32 folder. System 32 is basically like the most critical stuff for the operating system. Sorry. What are your thoughts on the Pentagon? Bro. I'm for so let me put it back here. Yeah, thumbstick wrestle me. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like wishful thinking, but because I've been, because I've been in the military and held security clearances, and because I've done government contract stuff and that dealt with security clearances, and because I kind of whatever, I'm hoping that halting cybersecurity offensive capabilities is to grab headlines, right? I'm being very careful how I want to say this because y'all know the climate of things, and I don't want to get in trouble. Because again, I got kids and I got a whole thing to worry about. So anyway, I feel like that is a headline grabbing title. Again, remember, there's a lot of things that we don't know. There's a lot of things that they don't talk about. So I feel like they're saying that, but that's not the case. I'll be honest with you. I would hope that that's not the case. I would hope that they truly aren't halting things. But then again, they okay. Yo, wait, what? Yo, punk going off. Yeah, so however, given the people who are there, I think it's stupid if they really did. And like I said, and I'm gonna be honest with you, up until a few hours ago, I thought it was probably just a BS headline. But then I saw the Instagram post from the Small Business Administration, and it was like, geez, y'all really put that on there. So anyway, let's get back to it. So System 32 folder is important. And then what is it? The system environment variable for is %windir %. So if you wanted to do that, you could go here, hit the start button, or you could do the search and go windir %, right? And then it would bring up that folder. And usually when you see those percents, that means it's like it's hidden. You're not supposed to be able to access that folder. That folder is not accessible by default, right? All right. So user accounts, profiles, and permissions. So you have regular users, and then you have admin users, right? That's the same. It's the same idea as Linux systems with a regular Linux account and then like a root or sudo account, right? So obviously, a regular user can access whatever they have permissions to access, and then your admin accounts allow you to access pretty much everything and have rights as an admin. So you can add, delete, modify, and all of that. So again, for example, like my son's computer, my son is a regular user, but on his laptop, I am an admin level user. So that's why I'm able to do certain things. Or if he wanted to run certain programs, then it would bring up the the user account control or user access control, the UAC, which I'm sure we're going to get into in a little bit. And then I have to type in my password to allow that to happen. Now, with that being said, I probably should have done that for allowing him to install all applications, because that's part of the reason why we have the problem we're having now. And I've been spending the last 5 hours or 4 hours, I should say, because I was able to get back on there. So it's running a virus scan now. So hopefully whatever is found in there, and then we'll run the rootkit scan, and then hopefully he'll be good. All right. So where are we? So the file. So when users, every profile is given a desktop. So remember, we have the desktop folder here. Actually, let's bring this up. Every profile is given these same things: desktop, downloads, documents, and pictures, and then there's another one for music, right? If you wanted to have a music folder, right? Every account usually has that. Okay. Another way to access the information is the local user and group management. If you wanted to access the local user and group management, you would just go here and then type in LUS RMGR .msc, and now it brings up this program here for local users and groups, right? So now if we wanted to make changes to the different users, we could, right? Like if we wanted to go here, we could change their passwords, we could delete the account, we could rename the account. We could check the properties. So now when you check the properties, you can see what member they have, what if they're a member of any certain groups. So as you see here, they're a member of the users group, and they're also a member of remote desktop users. Then you can see their profile paths, any environments, any sessions stuff. Are they allowed to have remote desktop services? So again, you can do all of that from this this application. Okay. What is the built-in account for guest access? Is the guest account. And then what is the account description? I'm sorry. I didn't. I should have brought that up. Let me see. LUSRMGR.MSC. So if you look here, I'm sorry, I forgot to bring up the description stuff. So built-in account for administering default user account by the system, built-in account for guest access, and then this is the user account that they created, and the description says Windows Fun 1. Okay. All right, so we can close out of there, close out of there. So now user account control. So remember, that's what I just talked about. User account control basically is like running a sudo command for Linux, but it's the Windows version of it, right? So basically what the user account control does is there are certain applications that you might want to be ran as an administrator or ran as a privileged user. For example, my son, on his laptop, I have certain tools and applications that I use that I don't want him to use, or if he tries to use it, it will then bring up that user account control prompt, and then I would have to type my password in. So it's essentially the same thing as the sudo command. Okay. It says no UAC by default doesn't apply for the built-in local administrator account. So again, if you're an admin account, if you're the local admin account, you don't have UAC because you're essentially the root user. There's nothing above you. Okay. So for example, like it says, if you wanted to run Wireshark installer, oh no, yeah. So if you wanted to run the Wireshark installer, it should ask us if we want to run that as an elevated user. If it'll let me. It's like I said, the VM is kind of slow. But basically, when you double click it, like you go to run it, it'll say basically, are you sure you want to run this? Do you have permission to run this? And then you would type in your administrator password to do it. Right? Okay, so here we hit run. Oh no, it's actually gonna let us do it. No, let's not. All right. So control panel, right? So we can just type in here. Let's do control panel. And now this is the category view. But if we wanted to break it down by icons, we could do this. Like I said, I prefer this one because it just, like I said, allows you to see everything, right? But if you wanted to look at like the Windows settings, so I show you control panel. Windows settings is here. So you would just click this. Whoa. Sorry. Yeah, so if you wanted to see everything here, you would click the Windows button and then hit the cog button to bring up the Windows settings. Right? So that would be your Windows settings. And then your control panel, like I said, you could bring up the category. Okay. If you wanted to bring up the network and internet set stuff, again, you can go over here where the network icon is. You can right click it and then you could troubleshoot, or you can open up the network and internet settings and it'll bring that up here, right? And that'll give you this information for your internet status. Now, if you wanted to do it from the settings, you would just go to that window as the settings and then just go to network and internet again. All right. Background. I mean, that's more vanity stuff, but whatever. Okay. So we got here, and then in the control panel, change the small icons. What's the last setting, right? So if we go to control, so we go back to the control panel just so you can see it. We'll go to says small icons, and it said the last one is Windows Defender Firewall. So that's how you would get the answer right there. Okay. Task Manager, my favorite tool. So if we want it, so Task Manager, there's a few ways you can do Task Manager. But the Task Manager gives you information about the applications and processes that are currently running, right? Like I said, Task Manager is my go-to whenever a Windows computer isn't acting right. First thing I do is run into the Task Manager and see what's going on. So like I said, so if you wanted to, if on your computer you could actually hit Control Shift and Escape. I don't think it'll let me do it. Actually, it brought up my Task Manager. But if you wanted to bring up Task Manager, you can go to this. You could go to the taskbar down here. So this dark section here, hit right click, and then you can go right here to Task Manager. And then it says there's no running app, so you don't have to worry about it. But then you just go to Performance. Right. So again, this is where I would go. Right. So once I start seeing, hey, it's acting slow or whatever, I'm going to the Performance tab in the Task Manager. Yeah, thumbstick for real. Like I'm going here. Like I'm looking at the performance. I'm looking at the memory. Look, see how much RAM is being utilized. Right. And then and then I'm going into the processes. Here you can check. You can you can fix it to bring up what's using the most. Let's see. You can change the view. So like I said, I go, like I said, task. I'm in Task Manager for everything like that. If it like, yeah. So, all right, here you could go in here and see the user information, so you can see what users are currently logged in. And then again, here's more information about like application details. So basically, this is like the process. This is like the processes when we were in Linux, right? And then you have your services. You can see what services are running, what services are stopped. If you need to restart a service, you can do that as well. All right, so let's go back here to the processes. And then, like I said, if we wanted more information, like we just did that, you can hit the more details. Yeah, like I said, to me, like, Task Manager, like that's my go-to. Like that's as soon as the computer just seems like it's a little off, that's the first thing I'm looking at. All right, and then that's it. We are done with Windows Fundamentals Part 1. So we can go ahead and terminate this machine. So like I said, we've been going now for about an hour and 20. Yeah, SSD write speeds is also another one. All right, so now we are done here. Let's go back and we can do Windows Fundamentals 2. Let's see, what do we have here? Sure. Why the nah? Like I said, it's not like I gotta go hurry up and go home. So we're gonna go ahead and start our machine for Windows Fundamentals 2. And while we're waiting for that to boot up, the first thing they talk about is a system configuration. So msconfig, this is another one I do for troubleshooting or diagnosing stuff. They have a documentation if you want to look that up. Let's see. I'll just click here real quick. So this is how to troubleshoot any type of configuration error. You would use msconfig. Right. So msconfig, like usually when I'm going to msconfig, I'm trying to see what processes are running. Which one? Which graphics card? Is it the Radeon or the? I'm gonna be honest with you. These graphics cards are so dang expensive. Mm. No, I didn't see that one, but yeah, the Radeon. Like I said, I looked at the Radeon ones over the weekend. And like I said, those are about $600. That's better considering the Nvidia 50 series is like, they want like damn near 2 grand. Yeah, for my own mental, like thumbstick. So I'm in the process of having to upgrade the video cards at the center because I want to get them all to like I want to get them all to like 4060s. Okay, so you have a 4080 with a water block. See, like you're good. Like so, like this PC I have at home, I am running a 3070. Yeah, this is a 3070, either a 3070 or a 3080 in this one. And then but the PCs at the center, they're a little bit older because I didn't really need anything crazy because I was only running I was running the regulars, the Overwatch, the Fortnite, Rocket League, Roblox, Minecraft. So I didn't really need anything crazy. But now as I'm now we're gonna be running okay, so I'm running something almost something similar at the centers, right? But now as we get, with Marvel Rivals, so next, like for example, next fall or this fall, I should say, this fall I'm launching. I'm running. Not only am I running a STEM league, which y'all the first to hear it, but I'm running Rainbow Six Siege, Marvel Rivals, Overwatch. I'm still gonna run Fortnite. um and Rocket League and then League and Dota, right? So those are gonna be the main stuff that I'm running, but I'm gonna make a major push for Siege and Marvel Rivals. So that requires a little bit more. I mean, I can run Marvel Rivals and Siege now, but it is a bit choppy. So if I want to, basically I want to be able to run them for competitive standards. So I have to upgrade them, right? Um, I wanted to run COD because there was a local COD Challengers team that wanted to play, but COD League wants like COD League wants 4070s. Yeah, COD League wants 4070s, and like I'm listen, I don't have enough people in there to justify 4070s. And honestly, and I know we're getting off script a little bit here, but honestly, I feel like I feel like on the esports side of thing, I feel like I get it, PC master race and all of that. I get it, right? And I also get that you can move a lot faster um, on keyboard and mouse than you can with controller. But I do feel like from a competitive perspective, I feel like esports is I feel like it's almost like a form of gatekeeping, right? Because why would I spend $2,000-3,000? Yeah, you don't need a 4070, but like, why would I run? Why would I try to spend $2,000-3,000 on a PC when I can get a $500 console? Right? Right. But my thing is, it's like, oh, you can't you like there should be console leagues. I'm sorry. There should be console leagues. If you're gonna do cross-platform play, hey, let the controller players give it a shot. Whatever. But I feel like you have there's a whole community of gamers out there Yeah, there's a whole community of gamers out there that would probably whoop a lot of behind or whoop a lot of ass, because I'm gonna say it, but they can't afford they can't afford that kind of PC. You know what I'm saying? So they can't even afford a PC. So that's another reason why I kind of have the center, right? Right. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I think they need to. There's gotta be some type of common ground, because like I said, you got a bunch of people. Like I have a young lady. She's got to be 11 now. She's got to be 11 now, but she would probably wipe the floor with most kids in Fortnite. And because she doesn't have a PC, she actually plays from keyboard and mouse on her console, because she was like, oh, because she found out all of them had to do that's how they did it. COD was console, and then it switched to PC. And now it's PC. Yeah, so it was PC, then they went to console, and then they went back, and now they're PC again. And now it's PC with like I said, PC 40. Look, hold on, don't give me the lion. COD League PC specs. Don't get me the lion. COD League, Call of Duty League PC specs. Trying to find it where the specs are. Nice. I haven't been to a COD Champs yet. Like I said, I went to the Rainbow Six major that was here. Was it November 2024? Yeah, here we go. Competitive settings. Where are, hold on. Change log, blah 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 blah. No, that's the maps. Game settings. I don't know. Like I said, when we were, like I said, there was a challengers. I shook hands with Sensor and met him, and now he's the world record holder for the most pull-ups in a day. Getting it certified. Now that's, hey, look, you know what, man? And like I said, I'm glad that they're getting out there, and it's becoming pop. I'm not even gonna say more popular, like, or popular again, because like during obviously during the pandemic we didn't have nothing to do, and that's when it really blew up. But then it was like you had everybody's like, oh my god, it's a waste of time and blah blah blah. I'm glad that that people are getting an opportunity to get out there and you know be be themselves, man, and do what they love and make money, because they're making money. I just need my Atlanta phase to be a little bit more consistent. I mean, not only get me wrong, they won the minor in the first major, but I need that. But actually, I'm not even gonna complain, because you know what? They lost to Vancouver, and Vancouver gave LA a run for their money. So Vancouver is just good. So I ain't even gonna trip. Yes, here we go. Pete. Boom. So it says, so CDL PC specs has to have at least 16 gigs. No, that's not right. That's, can I run it? That's not right. So anyway, like I said, I'll tell you the story. So I was meeting with a COD Challengers team, um, right before, was it last year? It wasn't Black Ops 6. Yeah, no, it wasn't Black Ops 6. So it was last season's Toronto Ultra. Okay. But yeah, so it was, like I said, it was right before Black Ops 6. It wasn't Black Ops 6, I should say. It was the last one. And we sat down and they were like they wanted to do, so you know how it's set up. How Call of Duty League is set up. They have like 3 or 4 weeks of they have 3 or 4 weeks of, okay, so they want, okay, PC Call of Duty. This still isn't CDL League. All right, hold on. Let's get back to it. Let's get back to this. All right. Yeah, we were in serious conversations about them running, whenever they played, they were going to play out of Alpha Esports and Technology. They wanted to do, and like they would have their team members fly in, and they would play the qualifiers basically out of the center, and then they would travel to the majors. And when we were going through the process, they were like, okay, yeah, let's do it. But they were like, you gotta upgrade your PCs to 4070s. And like I said, we looked at whatever website they looked at, and it was, like I said, they wanted 4070s, and it was just like, I wasn't about to spend that kind of money per PC. Um, they weren't like they weren't gonna be able to. It's not like they were paying me enough to cover those costs. And like I said, it was already financially, it was already kind of challenging. All right, let me stop yapping. All right, so MS Config. MS Config is my other favorite tool, right? So I don't know what I just typed there. MS Config. So this is my other favorite tool. So basically, it brings up the system configuration, but it's not bringing it up right now for some reason. But as you can see, like I said, it was using up a bunch of it's using a bunch of processing power. MS config. Come on. Y'all not gonna bring it up for me. There it goes. All right. So what I would do with MS config, for one, like I said, if I'm noticing things are acting up or acting slow, um, you can change how you want your operating system to start up. You can do a normal startup where it loads up all devices, drivers, and services. You can do a diagnostic where you're just loading up the basic stuff just to get it to start up, or you can do selective, right? So here's where, like, so you can get real, granular as far as what you want it to do, right? You can do a safe boot. Same thing with here. You can check your services and see what services are running, what services are stopped. If you want any services to be stopped or disabled, you can do that here. Startup, any items that are here for startup, you can actually go down the list and stop those as well. And then, like I said, then you have your tools, right? You have your about Windows, your change UAC settings, Windows troubleshooting. So MS config is another special one, right? So like I said, MS config and task manager, you can do a lot of troubleshooting with just those two tools. Okay, so we talked about all that, normal, diagnostic, or selective. Okay. Same thing with task manager, right? And then, like I said, it's like, what are the tools for system internals and stuff like that. All right. So now, if you wanted to change, you know what's weird? I have a Razer Death Adder mouse. To charge it, you have to take the wire out of the wireless adapter and plug the cable direct to the mouse. But every time I charge it, Windows thinks it's an entire new mouse and it'll wake the PC. You, because I have no, I have a Basilisk. I have a Basilisk Hyperspeed for this one, but it doesn't do that. And I actually just I use this has this battery operated. All right, so user account control. So here you can change how strict your user account control is, right? Do you want it to always notify you? Do you want it to just notify you when it needs when it's doing something that's going to make changes? Do you want it to never notify you, or do you want it somewhere basically in the middle, right? As a pen tester, um, you know what? I'm having a similar issue with um my sim racing rig. It keeps it keeps it keeps losing the USB connection and then starting it up again. And like I said, I was trying to do the same thing, trying to find it in device manager and see what's going on. So I don't know. I was gonna say that there probably like a batch script or something that you could run. See, there we go talking about scripts again. But yeah, like I said, so as a pen tester with UAC, what I like to do with the UAC settings, if I get into a Windows machine, if you can and you can try to manipulate the UAC controls and then basically turn it off, so then it allows you to make whatever changes, and it not only does it not pop up that notification, it also doesn't log. It also won't log it, right? Because I believe every time this gets triggered, it gets logged. Oh yeah, right. All right, so computer management. We're continuing with tools. So with so with computer management, you can basically run certain tasks. Um, think of this like I would say think almost like the like cron jobs in in Linux. So like for example, I have a setup, and it's not even through computer management actually. It's a batch script. But batch, not bash, but a batch script. And what it does is every time the computer loads up, it looks for updates. It immediately looks for updates. It immediately tries to clean everything, and then once it cleans everything, it reboots it. Especially like on tournament, like I have a tournament batch script. So anytime I know I'm about to run a tournament on PCs, it goes through the whole process to basically do a cleanup, run my cleanup script, and then load up, and so it'll be ready for the tournament. Okay, so you have your event viewer. So your event viewer is basically anything that any type of log or event that happened on the computer, right? So remember what I was just saying about the UAC stuff? It all that stuff gets logged, right? So you can use that to check the applications and services. You can check that to see just Windows, what's going on with Windows. You could check to see if for a custom view, and then they have different types of events. You have an error message, you have a warning, you have information. You can see if an event that recorded some type of audit security access, if it was successful. So basically, like that's if like a user logs into a system or something like that, that's considered a success audit. So that gets logged. Failure audit, if you try to log in and you put the wrong password in, that gets logged. Okay. Then you have your logs. You have your application log. So any event that's logged by application. So the database application might record a file error. That's going to log, right? The application developer decides which events to record. At security, these are valid and invalid logon attempts, as well as any events related to a resource, such as creating, opening, or deleting files. Any events system is any event created or logged by the system. And then you have a custom log. So these are custom events that enables the application to control the size of the log or attach any access control list. So you can create your own custom logs. Okay. Let's see here what they have here. So these are shared. These are folder shares. Sessions. You'll see a list of users who are currently logged connected to the shares. Local users and groups, and then in performance you have the perf mon, so the performance monitor, and that's used to view performance data in real time or from a log file. Okay, storage, this that is your disk management tool. That's where you'll be able to see all of your disk management that you're able to see here. So let's just go here. All right, so we go to disk manager. So you'll see there's 2 disks, right? There's a 20 gig drive, and then you see this is the system reserved for your primary partition for your operating system stuff, and then you have your C drive. And then you have this disk here is unallocated, so that means it's not used, but it's 1 gig of unallocated space. Okay, so here it is. Like I said, here's where you can kind of make, if you needed to make another partition, if you needed to split your hard drive up and create a new disk drive, you can do all of that here in disk management. All right, system information, MS info. So let's go ahead and check that out. All right, so MS info, that brings up your system administration, your system information, not administration. So here, like I said, you can see the operating, it will give you information. So the operating system is letting you know is Windows Server 2019. This is the build, the system name. What's the best way to extend? Oh, I'm dual booting in Linux and Windows, but I made my partition small and I'd like it bigger. So, geez, what's the name of it? What Linux operating system are you using? I mean, where does love involved in our talking trash? Stop with this. The song and dance, really? Your routine? I'm not John Cena. Maybe the WWE Universe. All right, so I think you can. I think you need to you can resize it. I'm trying to remember there's an actual program you can run in Linux. As far as you go, trying to be the devil on my shoulder. God knows my ways. Okay, you're running Linux Mint. Okay. Tonight, Monday Night Raw is brought to you by Cricket 5G. Smile. You're on Cricket. Ivy Isle could be smiling in a matter of minutes. She has an opportunity. I said, I think there's a. Man, I'm trying to remember. But yeah, like I said, if it's unallocated, Eric, if it's unallocated, you should be able to do it from Mint. I'm trying to remember the actual command for it, though. Yeah, it is basically Ubuntu, but that's what I'm saying. I think you should be, like I said, you should be able to do it from Mint. Like I said, if it's unallocated, I know I'm gonna have to probably do that. I'm gonna have to probably do something similar because I have a dual boot. I have a dual boot. I have a dual boot mini PC that I'm using as my Steam game server as well as my Minecraft server. All right. So MS Info 32, like I said, so this gives you all the information about your system, right? So it tells you where the boot is, the boot device, any usernames, the time zone it's running in, how much RAM you have that's installed, the total RAM, available RAM, any virtual memory. It gives you all that information. If you need any hardware information, you can look for any conflicts, right? You can look here, forced hardware. You can check the IO logs here, components. Again, select you could, and so your multimedia. So this will be any your CD-ROM, your sound devices, right? Any input, so your keyboard and mouse device, your modem, your network adapter information, any serial ports or parallel ports you have on the PC. So your storage drives, disks. Um, yes, it's a so it's running. So basically, yeah, it's I can just install them right locally. It's like a local server slash LAN cache server. So everything is stored on that server so that and then I have it set up where it can just go um before it goes out to the internet. It checks the local server for that first, and then so it moves a whole lot faster when I need to run updates. And then like I said, with the Minecraft server, that's set up so when we do our online Minecraft stuff, like our kids can access our Minecraft server from home or from wherever they're playing from. All right. What is the system name? Let's come back up here. So the system name THM WinFund, and then it says for in an under environment variables, what is the value for ComSpec? Yeah, see, mine is yes and no. Like I said, when you have 17 computers, it gets really slow to update up like 20, 30 gig updates, right? Like I hate whenever there's a new Fortnite update. I used to dread it because that means I would have to kind of get there like early to make sure, do them like almost, maybe two, three at a time, right? Now, because all I have to do is download it once onto that LANcast server and then just have it installed locally, it moves so much faster. Okay, so under environment variables, no, no, we don't have multi gig because the plaza that we're in doesn't have it. Um, Knock on wood, if we expand and we're successful enough where we can get a bigger space, oh, I am definitely trying to get uh, multi gig internet. All right. So under environment variables, blah 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 blah. All right, let's close all this stuff up. Go to environment variables, and then if we wanted to look up environment variables, the com spec is here, right? If we wanted to answer that question, so that's there. Okay. Oh, Resource monitor. And again, if you look, even though Windows is more graphical user interface GUI based, if you look, there's a lot of commands, right? Again, it's so much easier. Yeah, I have fiber, but I only have I have what, a gig? Yeah, I have gigabit. I have gigabit in at the house, and then at the center I have like one and a half, 1.25, something crazy. But so resource monitor, this basically is displaying any CPU, memory, disk, network information, right? So think of it like task manager, but it's kind of giving you a little bit more, well, a little few more details. All right. So you have your CPU usage, right? So again, not like I said, not nothing too crazy. You know what? Yeah, they do offer. Oh, they offer 2 gigabit. You know what? That was like a lot of places in Georgia have Google Fiber, and everybody that I know that has Google Fiber swears it's like the best thing ever. We don't have Google Fiber up here, so it doesn't. We're not privileged. All right, so command prompt. So again, it's not as prevalent as Linux. Like you don't have to, like, you know what I'm saying, Linux. It's like Linux is almost built where the command line terminal should be the priority, and any graphical user interface is secondary. Windows is the opposite. No, that's what I was saying. They have Google Fiber, but Google Fiber isn't in my area. And like I said, we just put it this way, we just got AT&T fiber like last summer. Up until that, we had like cable. All right, so same thing with command, right? So you have host name that gives you the information of the PC. Who am I? That's if you want to know the user. I don't think you can. Yeah, you can't do PWD here, right? So you can't do clear in Windows. You have to do CLS in Windows for clear screen. No, so not it doesn't. So they just added fiber, so they don't have 5 gig plans yet. And that's and then they, like I said, they're talking about installing fiber at where my center is located. So no, AT&T, yeah, no, AT&T doesn't have 5 gig yet. They only have 1 gig right now because they just started installing it. So the plan for 5 gig is probably going to come later on, but right, yeah. But and then like I said, I talked to an AT&T rep the other day about that. Do commands work in terminal? Yeah, power. So Linux commands work in PowerShell, but Linux commands don't work. All Linux commands don't work in Windows, right? So there's some that are universal, right? Like who am I works. Um, so host name for Windows, I think it's host in Linux, right? Instead of if config, you type in IP config, right? Like I said, Linux doesn't have clear, so Windows has CLS, right? If I needed to navigate a system, I don't think I can do LS, right? LS is in that, so it's dir, right? If I wanted to navigate to the desktop, I don't think I can do CD desktop. Can I? Oh, I can do CD. You can do CD desktop. I know it, right? Or you can do CD dot dot. Okay. I think it was C8. Isn't it also CHDIR desktop? Okay, so that's back in my day. I don't think you could use CD. It was CHDIR to change directories, but now you can do CD, right? Right. So like I said, there's some that you can use in command line that you can't do. See, I keep doing clear that you can't do in Windows, but PowerShell, you can. PowerShell has the option to do that. Okay, NetStat. This is a good tool in both Windows and Linux. Okay. My chest hurts. So basically, didn't Windows recently implement SSH? I mean, it looks like it. Looks like it. Not sure. I've been doing it for a few years. Yeah, like I said, I don't know. I just use Putty for most stuff. SSH. Yep. See, yeah, CD carries over. Let's see. Net command usually to check network resources. And then yeah, if you wanted to see information about a user, right, you could do net user, and then you could type in. You could see this, right? So again, I know net user because I said that's one that I use a lot. Like I said, if I'm on a Windows machine or I'm pen testing a Windows machine. Okay. Whew. Then you have regedit. Regedit. Don't go into the registry if you don't know what you're doing. What's going on, Victor? So like I said, the Windows registry is like the hey, what's going on, Joker? So Windows registry is the central hierarchical database used to store information, configure a system with one or more users. The registry contains information. Windows continually references operations like profiles for the user, applications installed, property sheet, what hardware exists, and the ports being used. Yeah, no, yeah. If you, I'm showing my age a little bit. Naughty by Nature had a song years ago, and at the end of it, it was like, if you ain't never been to the ghetto, don't go to the ghetto because you don't belong in the ghetto. So stay the F out the ghetto. That's how I feel about that's how I feel about the registry. If you don't know about the registry, don't go to the registry because you don't belong in the registry. So say the F out the registry. Yeah, no, I know, Joker. I know. So yeah, like I said, you don't mess around with the registry unless you know how to navigate it, right? Like I know that one. Yep. Like that's how I feel. Like that's how I feel about the registry. If you don't belong in the registry, stay out the registry. Yes, ghetto bastard. I just want to know. I just want to know if. I just want to know who attacked Jade. Glad. No, I appreciate it, man. Um. Yes, like I said. So the registry, like I said, registry is again warning. The registry is for advanced computer users. Making changes to the registry can affect normal computer operations. Look. So here's what I'll say about the registry. If you're ever going to make changes in the registry, you want to make sure the first thing you do is you back up your machine and you also set up like a system restore point. before you do any work in the registry, you make sure you have those two things backed up, because if you do anything to the registry that you're not supposed to and you make changes, you're going to want to go back to it. And trust me, you don't want to mess around and then have to basically wipe the machine, right? You got BLGS this weekend for, oh, nice, man. Hey, look, Joker, I know I still got to catch up to you about after the Overwatch scrim. I know a few of them already joined that one. I think they found it very helpful. I mean, we could probably try to set up some type of regular cadence for that too. But BLGS is dope. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know what's if it's gonna be streamed, and then like I said, we could try to stream it. Yeah, like hit me up later on this week, because beginning of the week is usually like messy for me. All right. Hold on. Brings me to the yeah. I can't make any snapshots of it. It won't let me save snapshots to a network drive. Why won't it let you save it to a network drive? Can you see the did you set up the share properly for the network drive? I don't know. See, I don't know. I've been troubleshooting all day. Tomorrow's no good. I got 20 teenagers running in and out my center. Thursday will be better. Yeah. Because Tuesday I got like 20. I got 20 teenagers. Wednesday I got my Fortnite practice. So okay, so it is map. So no, that's weird. All right, so we are done with Windows Fundamentals Part 2. So we could actually terminate this machine. Where are we at? 9 o'clock. We're about 2 hours in. Let me see what Part 3 look like. Windows updates. Windows security. Firewalls. I need a full I need to do, I got some things I got to do with the roster first. But we definitely got to get them set up. BitLocker, volume shadow. Yeah, I think we'll stop here. Yeah, we'll stop here, and then we'll finish up Windows fundamentals. So actually, let's go back to here. So after we finish up Windows fundamentals, I want to go. We got to go back, right? We got to go back to web basics, right? So we did. Yep. So after we're done with Windows fundamentals, we're going to go back up to how the web works, just to cover DNS, HTTP, and then how websites work. No problem, Eric. And yeah, like I said, Joker, I'll definitely let you know. So yeah, so we're gonna do Windows Fund. So we're gonna finish Windows fundamentals. Like I said, it's 2 hours. I gotta get ready for the day tomorrow. But we're gonna do Windows Fundamentals 3, and then like I said, we'll probably also knock out how the web works, because it's not. How the web works isn't anything crazy. Websites. Yeah, like it's as you can see, it's not a lot. All right, cool. And so then after we get done with that, let's see, do we go? We can look at careers. Oh, there's some more command line stuff we can mess around with, which I think we'll do. Hmm. I'm looking at where we want to go. Let's see where we want to go from there. So yeah, so we do web. I want to mess around with the command line some more. Do I really want to do networking? I do. I want to do net Wireshark, TCP dump, and obviously Nmap. But then it's like we can't skip, right? Yeah, yeah, I was Air Force. Well, actually, funny thing, I was Army National Guard first, and then after circumstances and things like that, it was decided that me staying anywhere close to my hometown at that time probably wouldn't have been a good idea. So we switched full time Air Force. Um, yeah. So let's see, cryptography. I'm thinking, all right, yeah. So we'll go command line. We'll do a little bit of that. We'll quickly do cryptography and hashing, and then I want to go jump right into web hacking. I want to go into web hacking. I want to go into offensive security tooling. Yeah. All right. All right. So yeah. So I don't know if I'm gonna get on stream tomorrow because like I said, we got a lot going on tomorrow. But Wednesday evening we'll do Windows Fundamentals 3, and we'll do how the web works, and then like I said, we'll clear that up, right? And then I think that will be good. Yeah, introduction to pen testing. I mean, there's a lot we can cover, and there's really a lot we can. I like these paths. I'm not mad at these paths. There's a lot we can cover. So, all right. Like I said, we're gonna drop it here tonight. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead. So y'all go ahead. Y'all be safe. I will talk to y'all. Cause the other thing I want to do is I want to check out Meld Studio because I want to see what that looks at too. So I'll probably fix that too. There's just so much going on. All right. Y'all be safe. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see y'all. Um, if I don't see y'all tomorrow, I'll definitely see y'all on Wednesday. All right. Peace out.